Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Aaron Plays. And this will be episode 4 of my playthrough of Alien Empires in the Space Empires game, where I'm facing 2 alien empires on the hard level. I'm playing with all the rules from the core book, so that's the basic and the advanced, just not the optionals. But nothing from any of the other expansions, the Close Encounters or the Replicators. Current status, we are just about to start turn 1 of the economic phase 4. We have an alien fleet coming in over here towards Vega. This is my pointer because I can't use the dot things. And the Terran Empire, which is on the other flank, haven't actually launched anything yet. They've just been building tech. So we are beginning player 1, which is me. Turn 1. So we know this bringer of pain is going to get to Vega this turn. So yeah, we've got to worry about that. But we're in movement. Sorry, you're not going to get this turn. He's going to get this economic phase. That's turn 1, turn 2. So he's going to get in turn 3. Do I want to face it before it gets to me? We're going to send some miners out. Whoops, I'm going to go 1 hex. If you can hear any background noise, I do apologize. Let me clear that off. So right, start him again. He's there. Let's clear that off. The neighbor has decided that he needs to do some guarding or soldering or whatever. Anywho, remembering that Vega is still their target. I'm not sure how much of that background noise you can hear, but I find it quite disturbing. But anywho, remember we've only got move technology 1, but this cruiser, if he stays on that MS pipelines, gets +1 in his movement. So that's his 1, and that's his MS pipeline bonus. Whoop whoop. Okay. And we're going to now send also this MS pipeline. He can go there, and he gets a movement bonus. So that's the advantage of the MS pipelines. This scout ship is coming back here to investigate that. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's going to investigate that one. Whereas this scout ship will investigate that one. And this scout ship will move to here, ready to bring on or take on the Bringers of Pain. I think that concludes my movement. Miners moved, my MS pipelines moved, and my cruisers moved, and my 3 scout ships. No combat. So we are now going to do some exploration. And we flip that. So, oh, blimey, all those planets in a row there. Okay. Replace the tile. That's my last planet. I hoped it would be in this one. Oh, it is. Well, it's not my last planet. Look at them all. Replace with the tile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. And then Draconis, which is the one that needs to be terraformed. So I've got a heavy leaning towards here, haven't I? Got to really work out some defense mechanisms there. Okay. My cruiser's in already. My miner's on its way to collect some minerals. That concludes my movement. Okay, so the enemy fleet. Right. The Bringer of Pain. Target is still Vega because that's the only colony I've got out there. So you can get there in 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. So we've got to work out, is he going into this hex or this hex? 4, 5, 6 in the hex, it's still got the green marker. Okay, it's a 1. So he's actually enters the nebula. Interesting. Okay. I don't really want to fight him in the nebula. So because that, well, I suppose negates all my technology. Everything fires on E, which I'll explain once we actually get to combat. Nebulas do have an effect on definitely on combat. And then the Bringer of Fear will probably be the same target because I haven't colonized any of these planets yet, which I do need to do. There's 4 of them sitting there uncolonized. So the Bringer of Fear, H2 is 1 to 3. Here we go. Yeah, it goes the same same route there. And that concludes their movement. And as we know from the nasty Terrans, we've got Tumbleweed. They've got no fleets out there. They're developing their tech. Okay, two different approaches from the enemies. Interesting. One going low tech, lots of forces on the board, high tech for the other ones, nothing on the board at the present moment. And me with a sort of an in-betweeny, really. Yes, I need to get these planets colonized, which means spending money on colonial ships. I need military ships. Can't have it all. Player 3 just done, player 4, player 5, and then we go on to second turn, player 1, me. Okay. I reckon, well, he'll either come into Tempe or into this hex here. I'm going to get my fleet ready here. That's 3 ships. He'll come down here as well. He won't get there in time if he comes into Tempe. No, I think he'll try to avoid me, but I'll have to double check the rules on there. The miner's moving. The MS pipeline will come down here and be now connected. Where's the connection? Well, there we go. It's all connected. And we need to build another MS pipeline next turn to get ASLAC connected. That's all to do. I think that's everybody of mine moved. Yeah. Okay. Everyone moved. Exploration. Actually, there is no exploration this turn. So we now go to the enemy. So where does the Bringer of Pain go? Okay, the Bringer of Pain will actually avoid moving into Tempe because I've got, if it had been a single ship, it would have moved in. If it had been a single undefended ship, it would have moved in. It says, hold on. It says if an AP fleet can attack a single reveal ship without delaying its reaching its destination, it will. There isn't a single ship. It will avoid combat with non-single ships, go around them as long as doing so would not delay them from reaching its destination. It's going to reach its destination at the same time. This is still its destination because it's still classed as an undefended colony because a single scout ship and a shipyard does not count as a defended colony. So the Bringers of Pain move there, which then brings us to the Bringers of Fear. 1, 2, 3, H3, 4, 5, 6, I2. And it moves into H3. Okay. As they creep forward. And that's them done. Right, it looks like I'm going to be the instigator of combat. Okay. Well, it would be nice to be the defender. That means I get to fire first. The Terrans, again, tumbleweed. Nothing going on there. Then player 4, there is no player 4. No player 5, so we're now into the third turn, or the third turn. So, if we go in, we are the attacker. That means they get to fire first. However, I do have a cruiser. I don't think they're going to have a cruiser, so hopefully my cruiser can get to fire first. Okay. I will have 3 ships to its 1, or we could move to Vega to defend it. When they'll actually get the shipyards to fire as well. Decisions. Anyway, so my movement phase, the first one I'm going to do is move me miner with those 5. So we're not going to get any minerals this particular turn. Okay, that was one decision point. Now, do we attack or do we defend? Let's go and see what the enemy is. So 2 scout ships and a cruiser will go and engage the Bringer of Pain. And this scout ship will move down to Tempe. That's all done. So we have our first combat. Okay, so let's move all these ships to the battle board. We can do that. Send the battle board. There we go. And it puts a battle there. Let's bring up the battle board. Now, this is a lot more complicated than we need for our particular game, because we've got the different ship skill levels, which we're not playing with, because that's again a rule that comes from Close Encounters. There, we don't need all the detail that's on this battle board. The main thing we need is this A, B, C, D, E, F. So F is a bit unusual. And where to place our ships on here. And this determines where or when units fire. So my scout ships have got an E, so they will actually, whoops, dragging them all. All right, one at a time. Okay, so my scout ships are on E, so they will be firing there. My cruiser has got a C, so he fires there. And I've got 2 scout ships. So that's when they fire. You fire from A through to, well, it says F. I haven't seen anything with the F on it, but that might be in an expansion. Okay, so we now need to determine what the bringers of pain actually have in their fleet. Okay, so the Altarians have only got 10 points of tech to spend, which there's a whole list. It says if the humans have got fighters, they've got none of this available. Okay, so the only thing that the next day people determine if it will spend on ship size. Current ship size is 1. Roll needs to purchase next level is 1 to 10. They have got 10 points, so they will spend that tech to increase their ship size to 2. Okay, so they've got ship size 2. I'm just going to take a little note of that. SS2. And when they've got SS2, that means that they can purchase a destroyer. That is because it sort of says possible that if the AP has researched this level of scanner technology that's equal to or superior to the level of cloaking, blah blah blah, it will build a destroyer. It can't afford 2 SCs, scout ships, because they're 6 points each. So it spends up to its maximum capability, which is 9 for a destroyer. So we'll give them a destroyer on here. There we go. And that will go there. And notice that's firing class D. So that sits there. And I'm going to put the Bringers of Pain fleet back on the fleet board, because when I put the ships back on, I'm not going to use the Bringers of the actual fleet markers there. So let's just take that down and put that back on the fleet board. Ready for the next fleet? Well, no, they've got the Silver Bringers of Sorrow to come in. So that's us set up. Now let me explain how the combat works. Okay, so you've got the firing classes. We're in clear terrain. So if we're in a nebula, everything will be firing in the E class. We're firing in the, we're not in a nebula or asteroids. We're in the open in space. We will be firing with our particular classes. So this is cruiser is a C class, so it will fire first, then the destroyer will fire, and then my scouts will fire because they've got the E rating. So that's how what the letters refer to on here. Also on this is how many damage it can take, also how much maintenance is required for it. So this can take 2 hits before it's knocked out. These can take 1 hit, and the destroyer can take 1 hit. Then on here, this is the combat values. So this is the number I need to roll equal to or less than to score a hit. So it's a 4 or less for the cruiser, 4 or less for the destroyer, and 3 or less for the scout ships. And those numbers, remembering that a 0 it counts as a 10, and a 1 is always a hit, because the other modifier on that is the defense value -1. So if this destroyer decided to fire at my cruiser, it would need a 4 -1 my defense, a 3 to hit. Likewise, my cruiser needs a 4. He hasn't got defense modifier, so I need a 4 to hit. And then these need a 3 to hit, because again, he hasn't got any defense modifiers. So that's the values. And then we go through, we fire the first round. Now, the other advantage I've got is I've got the largest fleet. Well, I've got twice the size of his fleet because I got 3 to his 1 ship. So that increases my attack value by 1. So in actual fact, he's now attacking with a 5. Taking with is 0 is what's necessary. I've decided to do all the combats on the vassal. I don't really want to use the vassal dice, but let's do it to show and keep it honest, shall we say. So it starts with me in the first round of combat. I need a 5 to hit this, and if I do hit it, I'll knock it out, and that will be the end of combat. Will I get there? This is me rolling vassal dice. No. There you go. A 9. I missed. Okay. Now we'll have the destroyer, and its probably best target would be one of my scout ships before they get to fire on it. So this is where it doesn't say what it's going to target. This is where you play it most intelligently. If it fires at my cruiser, it's going to cause 1 hit, which won't knock it out. But if he fires and hits one of my scout ships, it will knock it out. So he needs a 4, and this is where it will roll a 4. There we go. Never misses for the enemy. I don't know what it is, but there we go. So that is gone, and I would reset damage. He's got damage. Return to fleet board. No. Send to player's hand. That's where he's got to. Then my scout ship will fire him, and he needs a 3. This is a miss. Oh, it's not. Woo! Amazing. I actually hit something. Normally when I do these games, I never hit. Never hit, but there we go. Well, I say never, but you know what I mean. It feels like I never hit. But that's knocked him out, and I send that back to the red player hand, and that's gone. And that concludes the combat. So it's all rated on the... Now, if I spend money on, like, attack technology, that will increase their attacks by 1. If I spend money on defense technology, that increases their defense by 1. If I spend money on tactic technology, that means that ships in the same class, we didn't have any in this one, but ships in the same A, Bs, or Cs, ones with higher technology, tactics, get to fire first, and so on. But we'll go into more detail when that occurs. So I will send this back to the battle board. Return to fleet board. No. Return to map. There we go. Return to map. And we now send that back to the return to battle board. Boom. And that's our first battle. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so we lost a scout ship. They lost a destroyer. Even though, so we're now having words with our cruiser commander and saying what happened there. You know, you could have done it better than that, couldn't you? Then do we have an exploration? Because that's the only combat. The answer is no, there's no exploration. That concludes my turn. And we then go into player 2. So the bringer of pain has been destroyed. And we're now going into the bringer of fear. Still Vega is their target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Vega is closer. And it's still technically classed as undefended. So I3 is 4, 5, or 6. Rolls a 2, so it moves into H4. Dum, dum, dum. And as we know, the Terrans, tumbleweed. Okay. Player 4, player 5, and we are now into the economic phase of the 4th economic phase. So let's bring the production up. There we go. Okay, so I've got 36 production from my colonies. Let's just confirm, make sure the spreadsheet's not making any problems. 20 from my home planet, plus 5 for Vega, plus 5 for Haldir, so that's 30. 3 for Alaska, or Aslak, and 3 for Valhalla. So that's the 36 it mentions. Then 3 for my MS pipelines, 1 for Vega, 1 for Haldir, and 1 for Valhalla. That's my 3. Okay, so that's all looks correct, and no minerals were brought through this time, so no mineral CPs. So my production is exactly the same, 40. However, my maintenance is less. Now, because I lost that, it keeps track of the ships I've lost. And it keeps track of the CP I brought over. The ship I lost was that scout ship. which it keeps track of. So my maintenance is equal to the hull points. So 1 there for that scout ship, 1 for that scout ship 2, and 2 for that cruiser. That is the 4. So that's my maintenance. So that's 40 points. Then take away 4, it leaves me 36 points to spend. Okay, we did talk about, I don't want to increase my ship size. I want to increase do my exploration technologies for my cruisers. Boom. Now I'm playing with automatic updates. There's 2 ways of playing it. One of the, it's not really an optional, I suppose it is an optional rule. It's not an optional rule in the rule book. It's an optional rule in the scenarios where ships can get automatically updated with the latest technology, and that's what I'm using. So this cruiser will get exploration technology. In the rule book, it says that it needs to come back to a shipyard and pay for that technology upgrade. The enemy get technology upgrades, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have that as a player. It keeps it simple. It uses less brain power effectively, so it will get exploration technology straight away. Right, so that's 15 points spent. What to spend next? And I think this is where I get some ships again, and I do need to get these colonies starting to be built. So I'm going to build at least 1 colonial ship. Okay, we've only got 36 to spend. We just spent 15 on tech, but we have 4 planets to spend, and we do need another MS pipeline at least. So we will do another MS pipeline. Is this ideal? Don't know. That's 11 plus 15 is 26. 15 plus 11. Yeah, 26. That leaves me 10 to spend. You see how quickly it goes. 10 to spend. Do I get another colony ship? I mean, or replace my loss? Can't afford a cruiser. Can't afford a cruiser. I would like another cruiser, but then I can't get an MS pipeline. So we can afford a destroyer, or we can replace a scout ship. Let's replace a scout ship that we lost. So that takes me to 17 plus 15 is 32, leaves me 4 points left. I'm going to get another MS pipeline. Okay, so we're replacing the scout ship we lost, carrying on the pipelines, and carrying on the cruiser. We know we've got an enemy fleet coming, so hopefully we can deal with that. Okay, so that's 20 plus 15 for technology is 35 out of 36 I spent. So there's me sheet. Okay, that's reflecting the technology, and my builds leave me with 1 remaining CP. So let's bring on my new units. So I've got a colonial ship. Remember, I am yellow. Colony ship. Not quite sure where to build these yet. So colony ship, an MS pipeline, and a scout ship. Where's the scout ships? That'll be under combat ships. There we go, scout ship. I'll flip that over. That's scout ship 4. Okay. So let's put that back. I can't put it back now. All right, and send it to the player's hand. I can actually, yeah, you can't delete units once you bought them. They go to the hand. So let's have a look at my hand. There they are. Way over there. Should have, there's one that was destroyed. We'll bring him back into play. There we go. Right. Where are we going to build them? We know we've got enemy coming in here. This system can build 2 points. And I do want to start colonizing Bidden. So I'm going to build a scout ship here, a colony ship here, to start colonizing. And the MS pipeline, I think we're going to build here to bring Aslak into the fold, as it were. So that's me builds. We then come up to here, commit everything. Yeah. Oh, and we also now need to show this cruiser has got group stats, has got exploration technology. Boom, there we go. Which means he can now explore these species systems without moving into them, which is a good thing. All right, so that's us committed. I brought the new units on, and now we need to grow the colonies. So these should become 5s. Oh, and that's it. Grow colonies. There we go. Still didn't buy another mineshaft, did I? I say can't buy it all. Right. So for next turn, we've got 1 to carry over. Our colonies will be, we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. She'll be around about the 40 mark, plus with some minerals coming back. So hopefully we can stop the bringers of fear. Let's see where he's going to go. Well, you know his target. We're going to meet him at either Tempe or Z. Z. X. Probably X, isn't it? X. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. That's all me done. So we now go to the Altarians. Right. So they have got on there. Let me bring up the. All right, let me close mine down and bring up theirs. Okay. So we're in the 4th economic cycle. So they have 2 economic rolls. So 2 lots of D10. Yeah, I was doing these on the real dice, but I decided to use the roll of 9 and the roll of 4. So on there, the 9 they get defense, and 4 they get fleet again. So when you get anything rolls in defense, that actually is doubled. So they're going to get 20 points in defense now. That's a 10 doubled to 20, and their fleet gets 10. So they've got nothing in tech. Right, yeah, tech is 6 to 8. All right, so, and then the fleet launch is 1 to 5. They've only got 10 points, but they could launch. They don't launch, so no launch this time. Okay, so that's them. For your question. So we use 2.1. So they don't launch anything. So that's them done. All right, so then we go to the Terrans, and their 2 economic rolls as well. Here they are, 4 and 7. So looking on that 4 line, 4 gives them a fleet for the first time and another tech. So they've now spent 50 on tech and the first 10 on fleet. And their launch is on a 1 to 5. Do they launch? They do. We have the first Terran fleet launch. Okay. So let's go over to the Terrans and have a look. They decide to get into the action, have they? Okay, so I need a blue fleet. Where's my fleet markers? All right, the first one. Well, they've got one I call a home fleet, battle fleet, and frontier fleet. Seems more apt to send the frontier fleet up there. And we will mark it as such. Frontier fleet. And the first thing we have to determine is, because they've actually got 50 points in tech, did they spend any of that tech on movement? It says, whenever a fleet is launched, roll for movement technology. On a roll of 1 to 4, the alien power will purchase the next movement technology available if it has enough CPs in the tech column. It does have enough CPs in the tech column. 1 to 4 required. Where's the dice? There it is. They do. They now have move to technology. Right. What does that actually mean? Okay. So it's about time I brought up something else to actually show you guys, to show what we're actually talking about. Move to technology. Go end of the rule book. Okay, here we go. Let's bring this up. Movement technology charts. So I'm at tech level 1. So that means, if you notice the different colors, in each of the movement turns, I can move 1 hex. The aliens have just moved technology 2. That means in the first movement phase, they can move 1 hex. In the second one, they can move 1 hex, sorry. But in the third one, they can actually move 2 hexes. So it shows in the third turn. So the first turn, they move 1 hex. The second turn, they move 1 hex. And the third turn, they will actually move 2 hexes. They're going to be a little bit faster than me. So that means they can move 4 hexes, 4 regions of space in 1 turn, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't get to me yet, but all of a sudden, I've got 2 frontiers to defend. I feel like the Federation squeezed between the Klingons and the Romulans. What do I do now? So I will get to be able to build something next time, but yeah. Oh dear. And they've got 50 points taken. Now we know it's quite a small fleet. It's only got 10 points. So again, it's probably either going to be a destroyer or something along that lines. So okay. So they're on their way. And that will take us to the end of the economic cycle. 5. And we're beginning economic phase 5, turn 1, player 1, which is me, which will bring us to the end of this particular episode. Let's bring it back up to the top. Okay, so for the first time, we're going to now be facing a 2-front war. Again, we know that Terran fleet is small, but it's going to have quite a bit of technology with it. So it might have attack technology, defense, because they got still 30 points of tech to spend. So let me show you. I didn't do this in the last episode, but I'm going to bring it now forward. Okay, so the Terrans are the Altarians at the top. You can see in the fleet column, it's got 11 points now. It got 10 this time, plus 1 carryover because it brought that destroyer, which meant it spent 9, so it had 1 left over. So that goes back in its fleet column. And it's now it rolled on the defense, which means it gets whatever you roll in the defense column is doubled. So it's got 20 on defense. That was when I actually get to their planet, it's going to sit there already with 20 production waiting for me. Okay, then the Terrans blue. Okay, so you can see in the fleet they've now got 10 points. They've I need to actually cross that off. Oh, that's a good point. They've just spent that, haven't they? On the there we go. All right. So why have I got a mouse on the screen? I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. Let's get rid of that. Right. Okay. So we've got nothing in the fleet column. They just spent it. That's what the FF is. Can't get my fingers to work on the back side first. So if you look at the fleet, this is FF. There's the 10 points on there. And they spent move. So in the technology column, you've got mines and they've got move 2, which costs 20. So in that tech column, there's the pen. I need to go, no, other way. It says 50. That actually now will be 30 because I spent 20 on the move. And by the time that fleet gets to me, if they keep getting tech, that will actually increase. So I need to take that 50 back to 30 now. But by the time that fleet gets to me, if they gain more points, that they get to spend. And that's why on that fleet. And that's why I'm having instant upgrades on my ships. It's only fair. It's hard enough. Anyway, so that ends this episode. So if you could do the like, that'd be much appreciated. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, if you enjoy what I do, please do so. That'd be much appreciated too, because that's how the channel spreads. Likes and subscriptions, and of course comments. And it's the comments I really enjoy. So if you could make any comment, if I'm doing anything wrong, or you think I'm making, oh, that's a tactical mistake, or whatever, or you think I'm doing the aliens wrong, let me know. All of those in the comments. But until next time, play games, have fun, bye, internet.